Hello, and thank you for joining the World Alliance for Arts Education to celebrate International Arts Education Week by attending today's webinar, International Arts Education Week, a Call to Action. Today, this webinar will be hosted by Teresa Torres de Eca and myself, Jeff M. Poulin. My role is that of Managing Director of Creative Generation, an NGO based in Washington, D.C. As the producer of this webinar series, and on behalf of the World Alliance for Arts Education, I will welcome you and begin by reviewing the necessary information to ensure an effective webinar. Now, we'll begin by reviewing our goals for this session, including illuminating the history of International Arts Education Week, including examples from previous years, inviting participation for the numerous activities of International Arts Education Week 2020, and to initiate a call to action for the world's arts educators and arts education supporters. Please welcome my co-host Teresa, who represents the International Society for Education Through Art, INSEA, and the World Alliance for Arts Education's Presidential Council, coming to us from Portugal. Teresa, welcome.
Welcome, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here today with you. So, Jeff, you have this idea to make a webinar to call for an action on the International Week of Art Education. So he asked me to prepare something to tell you a story about the International Week, how it starts, how it evolved. And I will tell you my experience from INSEA. I will tell you a bit of experience done during the past years in this International Week of Art Education. So the first International Week was set up by UNESCO in 2012. And it was, for us, it was really a great challenge because it was the recognition of art education as a great status in UNESCO, and through UNESCO it was also a way to have more power in terms of advocacy with the governments in all the world. So we are really pleased to have this celebration during that week. And we indeed used that week to advocate for art education all around the world in several ways. So in 2012, 2013, there were many celebrations, seminars, exhibitions, performances all around the world. And this captured the attention of people, and especially of people that were key stakeholders in the world of education and the cultural production. So I think we achieved to capture attention of people to art education through that celebration. Here in the image you can see the posters, two posters from INSEA and one poster from an organization in Spain, Granada, of activities that were settled down during these 2 years. And I want to be more specified with a particular event that was organizing from Spain, from Santiago de Compostela in Spain. And it was a campaign called More Than Ever. In 2012, there was some difficulties because the governments and the ministries of education all over Europe, especially in Europe, were cutting arts in education. So we asked people to think about that during the week. And we set this campaign asking people to send us keywords. What is art education for you? And we did a small survey, and we end up with very important words to advocate for art education. And we asked an artist from Santiago, Jesus Carballido, we asked him to make a very nice poster. So this poster was printed out as a poster and as a postcard, and it was sent out to many people in Japan, in Spain, in Brazil, in Argentina, in Chile, in Finland, in many, many countries, and in different language. And we send this message to presidents of republic, to headmasters, to teachers, to politicians. So we try to capture attention to art education and to the benefits of art education in the different countries. And well, this part of the International Week of Art Education, to capture attention and to give more visibility to art education, it was really important, especially in Latin America, but not only, but especially in Latin America. And in this slide, you can see some examples of press release and articles in the local newspapers. The articles are about activities that were organized by members of the Alliance and by art educators, by artists, and they did activities during that week, and the local newspapers, they were interested, and they wrote small articles. But this was really very important, and it's still very important to have the press with us, even if it is the small local press. It's really important during that week to have those partners. And here you can see some posters during those years, 2012, 2015, from Spain, from Latin America, posters of activities that were organizing during the week. So all around the world, art educators, they are organizing events, even if it is a small conversation or a roundtable or a big seminar, like in Chile, like in Hong Kong, or in Japan. But the important thing is that we are spreading out towards art education is important, and people get interest in it. So 2006, for example, 2016, you can see some posters from Finland, from Egypt, Alexandria. They did a big conference in Alexandria. In Finland, the Faculty of Art Education asked all the students to make posters, and they spread the posters away. And the middle one is from Czech Republic, I think I'm not wrong, and also made by art teachers, future art teachers. In 2017, we continue with this work of giving more visibility to the art education through the International Week, especially through this communication, visual communication that we can use with posters and sending posters to specific targets. And here you have the INSEA poster and another poster from Czech Republic. In 2018, there was also a very interesting campaign. I would like to tell you the story. This campaign is called Enredadas, and it started, I think, in 2014 by a group of Spanish art educators. They start to make every year during the International Week of Art Education a big goal for an art exhibition, a digital art exhibition. And it was very successful, especially in Latin America, Spain, Italy, and Portugal. And through the years, this campaign was enlarging and getting more people involved. And in 2018, the organizer was Katia Pangrassi from Italy, and she was really successful in making art education visible in very important museums in Italy, and with very important people from culture and from education through this digital exhibition. In this year, the topic was art and social inclusion, because it was a very important topic at the time, and this still is. The last 2 years, 18 and 19 and now in 20, we continue to advocate for art education and focusing it on the topics of the year. So in 2019, in INSEA, the slogan was more art, not less, because again, art education was being cut down in several programs of education. And in 2020, this year, INSEA calls for a campaign called Be Radical. So you need to go beyond, you need to be more active. So that's why this Being Radical campaign. And this year, 2020, we really want to launch this week as a week where we can make art education more visible, more present, and capture attention of key persons that can make a difference at local levels, especially at local levels, and also global levels like UNESCO. But we think it's really important to work locally. And here the last posters done by one of our members, Raquel Balsa, and in those posters, they are so poetic and they capture the essence of art education, fragile, very fragile, but still with an enormous power, a poetic power, and the power of transforming the world. And to finish my brief history, or let's say my brief histories of the International Week of Art Education, I choose this image from one of our members. She did a postcard, Angela Saldanha. She did a postcard to send during the International Week to many art educators. And that postcard was calling Take Action in Art Education, be more active. And I would like to finish my presentation and my little history with this Take Action, because right now, in face of the challenge of the COVID, of the lockdown, and the pandemic situation we are living, everything will be changed. So we need really not only to capture the attention, but also to take action, to be more active in the field of education. So that's my call. And based on the history of this week, of the International Week of Art Education, I think we have a solid foundation to advocate for arts, for all arts in education, in all settings of education, in schools, in museums, in refugee camps, in hospitals, everywhere where the arts can change people and can help people to get more quality in their lives. Jeff, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Teresa. And I will just follow up by saying that we at Creative Generation are thrilled to be working with the World Alliance for Arts Education alongside UNESCO to produce this year's International Arts Education Week celebration. I'm particularly thrilled based on my own previous work supporting and developing National Arts and Education Week here in the United States, which was designated by Congress in 2012. Now, this year is a little bit different for me. We're working internationally and connecting with people like all of you by way of video conference. Previously, I was on a plane daily traversing the United States to celebrate in communities from Alaska to New York City. But you'll see here in this poster on the screen that we have worked to encapsulate the camaraderie among the many international associations and people from regions all over the world coming together to celebrate arts education and its power to transform humanity. Just on today's call of people interested in the history and the strategy of our celebration, we have folks representing Europe, Asia, the Americas, speaking numerous languages and coming to us from over 12 different time zones. So we appreciate all of the people up very late or awake very early. This year's celebration has three components as part of our global event. different ways for individuals and organizations around the world to celebrate online and through their networks. First, all organizations and individuals, whether teachers, artists, cultural organizations, parents, students, or whomever, may celebrate on social media through daily prompts and following designated hashtags, Arts Ed Week and Arts Unite Us. Second, but especially for arts educators, youth workers, program leaders, and institutions, all are encouraged to learn together through our series of webinars scheduled throughout the week, including this one. Third, you all are encouraged to share your work on social media through the World Alliance for Arts Education website in the virtual space, a gallery and performance hall showcasing outstanding arts education programs from around the world. All are welcome to participate in the social media campaign, and we've tried to make it very easy. To begin, it's highly encouraged that you follow the World Alliance for Arts Education on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to check for our daily posts. Additionally, you may follow the hashtags Arts Ed Week and Arts Unite Us to both share and engage with others around the world. We've even produced some ready-made and social media optimized graphics, which you can access through our website in a shared Google Drive folder. Daily, the World Alliance for Arts Education, from its accounts on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, will post a prompt by which participants can respond. You can see here the prompt for day 3, which is on Wednesday, on the topic of youth leadership, with a question exploring how young creatives can lead us towards the future. You may share your ideas, successful programs, artwork, song, dance, or video, and of course, interact with your arts education colleagues through what they share as well. These assets too are available to you through the shared folder. Throughout this week, beginning yesterday, Saturday the 23rd of May, and concluding on Saturday the 30th of May, the World Alliance for Arts Education and its partners are producing a series of 9 webinars on a variety of topics. Through the series, we have curated a discourse on the role of arts education in times of disruption. For example, the first webinar, which aired live on Saturday the 23rd of May, explored the role of arts education within the field of humanitarian aid. The speakers discussed how artists, alongside social workers and healthcare professionals, could work with youth to overcome challenges of displacement and violence. Artists and humanitarian professionals from Jordan, Mexico, and France shared their experience, strategies, projects, and advice. Later on this week, we'll also see examples from New Zealand and Hong Kong addressing the role of arts education through the COVID-19 pandemic and aiding in the return to school. Further, we will explore the role of the arts in global connectivity among the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, all through the forms of dance, media, music, theater, and visual arts. Together, this series will drive our dialogue as a global arts education field to respond to the needs of our communities and future generations, especially in light of the unprecedented times that we're living in. For every webinar, however, all attendees must be pre-registered in order to receive the webinar link, meeting ID, and password, which will be emailed 12 hours in advance. A digital archive of every webinar will be made available online within 48 hours after the live event for those who are unable to attend due to time zones or professional conflicts, and to encourage continuous learning into the future. In addition to celebrating on social media and learning together digitally, the World Alliance for Arts Education and UNESCO have presented opportunities to share and engage with notable arts education programs from around the world. In the virtual space, the World Alliance for Arts Education has dedicated an online catalog for all practitioners to share their incredible work. Anyone who visits the website can view the collection of impactful programs from around the world. We encourage you to submit yours online today. Similarly, UNESCO has chosen to feature programs which successfully implement arts education during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. The promising practices highlighted will help our field through the current challenging times to move into the future. This webpage will launch soon during International Arts Education Week. As we celebrate International Arts Education Week 2020, for the next 7 days, I wish to impart on you one message, a message of hope and togetherness. During the last several months, the world has faced an unprecedented challenge with virtually all schools closed, cultural spaces moved online, and communities operating at a distance. We at Creative Generation, the World Alliance for Arts Education, and UNESCO are here to say that we stand together during International Arts Education Week as one global arts education community. We hope that through the activities that we have crafted on social media, sharing our practices, and learning together among our peers, that we are here to support you and to support your work with young people and in communities. And we hope that the ingenuity, resilience, and creativity of the arts education field will impact the cultural and education sectors, as well as our own communities and nations, to move through this crisis towards a healthy, creative, and prosperous future.
Well, first of all, to thank you, all of you, for coming here in this Sunday, this beautiful Sunday, and to know more about our call for action in this week, the International Week of Art Education 2020. And we really would like to give this message that be active, do something for art education in your country, and please contact us if you need help, and share what you are doing with us. Send to the virtual space, send to us, because we can make it visible in a world scale. So thank you, everyone, and we'll wait for you.
We wish you all a very happy International Arts Education Week beginning tomorrow, and look forward to seeing you online throughout the week. Thank you.